Hey creative business owners, if you're ready to take your business to the next level, you're in the right place. Today I'm breaking down the 3 essential things you should invest in to see your creative business grow. These tips help me build my business and I know it'll help you too. So I was thinking recently about when I was first starting out in my business, and the way that I felt was that there were so many ways to spend money when you're first starting out. Can you relate to this? So for example, you might be seeing all of the big names posting constantly on social media. So you're wondering, should I get a social media manager? Should I hire a team? Should I get a loan so I can quit my job and do this full time? What should I invest my money into inside the business so I can do what I love and make money while doing it? This can feel confusing and scary because in the beginning, let's face it, we don't have a lot of cashish, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, which one is the thing that we should be focused on? If it feels overwhelming to you, it's probably because you're doing too much at once. You're thinking about all the things that you might need to purchase and put into place over the span of several months or even years, but you want them all to happen right now. I can relate to that. I wanted to do that too, but my advice is to just do the next best step. You don't need to do it all at once. Building a business takes time, despite what all those 20-year-olds are trying to tout on TikTok about how their side hustle started making them $10K a month in the first 3 months. Newsflash, they're lying, and it's kind of obvious, right? Here are 3 things I personally would invest in from the very start, some that I did, and some I waited and should have done sooner. I'll explain as I go. So the first thing I think you should invest in the first few months or even the first year is a website. I do teach women to sell digital items on Etsy, and while I do think that that is the best first place to start, I also teach that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. So once you start to generate money on Etsy, more specifically, as soon as you start to generate the money it would take to start your own website, that's when I think it's time to make the leap. Does that mean you have to stop selling on Etsy? Heck no. Etsy is such an amazing income generator, but expanding to your own website is going to open up so many new ways to earn income, and diversifying your income in your business is exactly what I teach my students. A website is the new business card, and no, you don't need a business card. I had them in the very beginning, and what a waste of an investment that was, especially because if you're a creative business owner like me, then you change your business frequently and all those business cards become trash very quickly. So a website is a much better use of your investment. And the best thing about a website, unlike a business card, you can change it at any time, no matter how many times you pivot in your business. You don't really need a crazy website to get started. You just need something that establishes your presence online that you can grow later. To see all the things I recommend in getting ready to launch your website, check out my website tips for creatives, which I have linked below. Now remember, just do one step at a time. You will get there. Okay, I know this next one might scare you a lot. It scared the crap out of me so much that I waited years to start using it in my business. And in total and complete honesty, it's still not something I love dealing with, but it is necessary. And that is a bookkeeping software. Okay, I know, that sounds really scary, but you know what's more scary? Not knowing what the hell you're making and spending, and then all the things that can come from that, like owing the IRS money, overspending, not paying yourself, and on and on. A bookkeeping software is the best way to go, and it would be great if you started earlier than you thought was necessary so you could start getting used to it before you're making a ton of money. This is why in my coaching group, Online Business Besties, where I help women to grow their creative businesses, we have guest speakers that join us each month to talk about how to do things like this so that you aren't completely lost. And when you're surrounded by other creative business owners who are just as lost as you realize that you're not alone. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, we're in business, right? This isn't a hobby, or at least we don't want it to be. And because of that, we have to start acting as if we are already making a ton of money in our business. And what would a super successful creative business owner making millions of dollars do? They would have a bookkeeping software, because when you're making millions of dollars, you have to know where all of the money is coming and going. To that end, I recommend QuickBooks. I've linked it below with a discount of 30% off for the first 6 months. Again, I know it's scary, but there are experts out there that can walk you through it and get you started. In fact, we had one of those inside my coaching group, and everyone felt a lot more confident, including me, that it was something they could actually take on in their business. And again, this isn't my forte in business, but if I'm being honest, by doing the bookkeeping each month with QuickBooks, it always makes me feel really smart when I actually do all the things I'm supposed to do in there. And I need all the encouragement about my smarts related to numbers that I can get. Lastly, there is one more thing that you have to invest in to see growth in your business from the very beginning. And this is another one that feels backwards, and we have to act as if again, meaning this investment is something you're going to think you can't invest in until you start making millions of dollars. But in fact, it's actually the opposite. You need to do this first to see growth instead of waiting until you've made it. And that, my friend, is investing in yourself with personal development and community to help you get more educated and knowledgeable about the business that you're growing. What you'll learn in business is that you are your number one asset. And because of that, it's one hell of a personal development journey. If you want to make more in your business, you've got to work on you. So find opportunities to grow as a person. Therefore, I recommend you invest in courses, books, and opportunities to learn and grow. So for example, I have a course that teaches you how to sell printables on Etsy if that's something you're interested in. I also have a coaching group that teaches you to grow your creative business, and both of these are linked below. But of course, you don't have to learn from me. There are so many other coaches out there who are teaching the exact thing that you need to learn next in your business. Why waste your time YouTubing everything you need to know and then finding not so great answers, when oftentimes someone gives you that A to Z roadmap for how to do something? It's so much quicker and efficient. But as far as books go, I love myself a good personal development book. So let me give you a few books linked below that are going to help you change your habits, manage your finance and business, and how to improve from the inside out so you can grow both personally and professionally. I know you're gonna love all of them. In fact, many of them I have read many more than just one time. If you want an entire list of the essential tools, apps, and platforms I use to run my successful creative online business, check out my free guide that's linked below where you're watching this video. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on growing your creative business. I'll see you in the next video.